Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be giving you my Scorpio August 2018 horoscope forecast. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the sun, moon, and ascendant. Anyway, people, first thing up is, as far as August goes, the sun will be in Leo from the 1st until the 23rd. So the 10th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, there could be a strong concentration of energy, focus, and attention on one's career, notoriety, recognition, stature in life, social status, the dominant parent, which is often the father, authority figures, and even perhaps attaining a position of authority, and also public image as well, and one's reputation. Now, given that this is, Leo energy, this could be done with a lot of Leo-like ferocity, with a lot of pursuing 10th house matters, with a lot of this self-assuredness and confidence, a lot of magnanimous energy, a lot of generosity, perhaps expressed to the dominant parent, and maybe even authority figures as well, and maybe even being somewhat extravagant in order to maybe gain more popularity and recognition, such as like if you're on Facebook or something, you're trying to promote your page and having to spend more money to do so, if you got like some kind of fan page or a public figure or what have you. So anyway, also these 10th house matters could be done with a lot of pride, dignity, self-assuredness, confidence, courage, fortitude, and Leo-like heart. So anyway, next thing up is, as far as August goes, the sun will be in Virgo from the 23rd until the 31st. So the 11th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, there could be a strong concentration of energy, attention, focus on goals, aspirations, friends, acquaintances, groups, clubs, organizations, one's future, and perhaps social media even as well. And this being in Virgo, this could be done with a lot of Virgo-like organization, scrupulousness, perhaps somewhat critical, judgmental energy, and especially in matters perhaps pertaining to the friends, the acquaintances, done with a lot of Virgo meticulous attention to detail, and with a lot of industry, but also perhaps in a rather worrisome manner as well. And guard against maybe becoming too overly worried about one's future at this time, and done with a lot of Virgo-like pensive energy, very methodical and systematic manner, but there may be also a lot of analysis in these 11th house matters as well. Anyway, next thing up, there will be a partial solar eclipse in Leo on August 11th, so the 10th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, we're talking about a solar eclipse. Partial solar eclipse is like a new moon, but it's only, it's more magnified and amplified in terms of its possible impact and effect. The impact can be much more sustained and have life-altering implications and an impact on the person. Now, this could be a new Leo-like career that you might embark on at this time. It could be something with cardiology, theater, acting, something with creativity, working with children, something that could be attention-getting. Sports is a possibility as well, and also too. And something that could really be very life-altering. It could be something that could be very sustained and something you may pursue for some time. And also about really pursuing 10th house matters in general with this near inexorable Leo energy. And also, at this time, this could be about getting a new position of authority that you approach with a lot of Leo, like I said, that near inexorable energy, and with a lot of pride and dignity. And it's also about perhaps a brand new period of really taking a lot of pride and dignity, perhaps in attaining notoriety and recognition, and also about getting perhaps attention and being recognized and lauded by authority figures and a dominant parent as well. This could be a period where you really you feel this need, where you need to really be to really get that attention maybe that you truly deserve in 10th house matters. And also, This could be a new period of perhaps being maybe more extravagant in order to maybe improve your getting more recognition and notoriety at this time, and how extroversion and being more gregarious may also have a very powerful impact on your public image and reputation. It could be a new period of being more outgoing, which could really maybe help you in terms of again the public image, the reputation, and also maybe with your stature in life, and maybe could help you make the connections in order to improve that. So anyway, next thing up, there will be a full moon in Pisces on August 26th, so the fifth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time for Scorpio, this could be a period for Scorpio where he or she might simply become rather tired, full, exasperated, perhaps at a duplicative, deceptive, apathetic, nebulous, a lover or child. It could be even somebody that they might share a creative hobby, endeavor with, or some kind of hobby with. And also, too, could also be a time where you may, this could be about a completion or culmination of a Pisces-like hobby. It could be something like, for example, poetry, dancing, something with chemistry, maybe a fantasy game. Maybe this is the time where maybe you end something that might be a Pisces-like hobby that's not serving any purpose for you anymore. And also, this could be also the way this could manifest perhaps is injecting a lot of like compassionate, self-sacrificing energy into matters connected with children, with lovers. It could be a person that you share a hobby or creative endeavor with. And also, this could be about maybe putting to an end an unrealistic speculative venture. And remember that full moons can also be about unveiling and revelations. This could be about maybe some kind of betrayal that is unveiled that was connected with a child, with a romantic partner, perhaps. This could be also maybe something about some investment or some kind of speculative nature that maybe there was more to it than met the eye, so to speak, and it was something that was that had a lot of duplicity and deception connected with it, and maybe you didn't really have all the details and you found out about it, and it was something fraudulent, for example. So those are some things to look at as far as this goes. So anyway, next thing up is Mercury will be in Leo, and it will be retrograde from the 1st until the 19th, and the 10th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, this could be about a time for Scorpio where he or she might be, during that retrograde period, could be reviewing gregariousness and extroversion, perhaps with the dominant parent, which is often the father, authority figures. It could be people that might be prominent in one's career. And also speaking with these people with a lot of Leo-like authority and ferocity and confidence and self-assuredness. You might be more inclined to boast about your stature in life and your social status at this point, more so than usual, and perhaps dominating conversations with authority figures in the dominant parent, perhaps, and people that you know well in your career. And remember that also that Mercury is more than just about communication. Mercury is also associated with siblings, so this could be a time where Leo siblings, it could be Leo, Sun, Moon, Ascendant people, or ones that simply embody Leo-like characteristics, that they might figure more prominently in your career, in your stature in life, in your social status, and maybe even getting notoriety and recognition. And anyway, and also creative thinking might help your career at this time as well. So anyway, well, the next thing up is Venus will be in Virgo as far as August goes, from the 1st until the 6th. So the 11th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, well, Scorpio, if you're unattached, you might connect with a Virgo, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant in some group or club or organization. Perhaps it could be a Virgo, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or simply one that embodies Virgo-like characteristics. This could be the time where you might strongly value extrapolation of data for your future. and also about spending frugally, perhaps on friends and acquaintances at this time, and maybe even and having that strong enjoyment of analyzing goals and aspirations and enjoyment of health-related activities with friends and doing those kind of things in a group-related matter. And also, the way this can manifest too, perhaps, is valuing health-related goals at this time. So, but at the same time, just be careful that you're not really expressing too much enjoyment of analyzing, criticizing, and scrutinizing friends and acquaintances at this time. Or maybe people that you may know in some group, club, or organization. So anyway, well, the next thing up is, well, Venus will be in Libra as far as August goes from the 6th until the 31st. So the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time for Scorpio, well, in some cases this could manifest in a clandestine affair with a Libra Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or simply one that embodies Libra-like characteristics. There might be more financial limitations and restrictions at this time. It could be attributed to maybe some kind of Libra-like purchases, like such as something connected with attorney fees or some kind of court or legal fees at this time. Also, too, the way this could pan out too, this could be about the enjoyment of art, beauty, intellectual sociability, and solitude and seclusion. Could a Libra Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or one that embodies Libra-like characteristics be a hidden adversary at this time? Well, it could be possible at this time. And also, it could be that a Libra love might drive you maybe figuratively crazy anyway, because remember that this is the 12th house of mental illness, so it might be in a figurative sense may drive you crazy at this time. So, and it may also be too that it might be a little bit harder to express matters of the heart and things of a romantic nature with a romantic partner at this time, given that you're talking about Venus and, of course, the 12th house of limitations and restrictions. And this could also be about some kind of balanced spending, perhaps on people that are less fortunate than yourself, such as the impoverished, the oppressed, and the homeless, and the hungry. Anyway, next thing up is, well, as far as August goes, Mars will be in Aquarius from the 1st until the 13th. So the 4th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. It will be retrograde. Now, at this time for Scorpio, well, it might be where you might, where the situation with family and people you're close to home with might be more acrimonious and contentious than usual. There might be you might become really angry at maybe idiosyncratic, bizarre, unusual behavior from family members at this time. But also on the positive side, this could be about injecting a lot of selfless and humanitarian energy into home and family related matters. And also, given that we're talking about Mars being retrograde, it's going to be could be going back to maybe some unique foundations that you have and traditions, and maybe even going back to some kind of just unusual arguments about things that were unusual at this time with family members, or maybe simply just going back to injecting energy, vitality into something Aquarius-like at home. It could be something with computers, electronics, astrology, astronomy, something that it could be Aquarius related. And anyway, and also be careful of unusual or unexpected accidents at the home at this time. Anyway, next thing up. Well, as far as August goes, Mars will be in Capricorn from the 13th until the 31st. It will be retrograde from the 13th until the 28th, and the 3rd house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time for Scorpio, well, this could be a time where the situation with lovers and children may be more acrimonious and contentious than usual. It could be arguments, fights over responsibilities. It could be over things connected with the government or politics as well, or maybe even business arguments. It could be over really Could it be fights with authority figures over having too much fun, maybe? Um, Maybe this really, or I'm sorry, not over too much fun, really. But anyway, what I want to say is I actually made a mistake, people. I'm sorry. Going back to Mars in Capricorn. Mars will be in Capricorn from August 13th, as far as August goes, from the 13th until the 31st, retrograde from the 13th until the 28th. It's the third house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. I'm sorry. Anyway, going back to that situation at this time with siblings, cousins, neighbors might be more acrimonious and contentious than usual. There might be really this could be a time too where you might be having arguments with those people, perhaps over matters connected with the government, business matters. It could be over responsibilities. This could be a time too where you might have very strong, abundant mental and physical energy, but actually going back to maybe some arguments with siblings, with cousins and neighbors, and ones of a consistent nature. It's also about perhaps putting a lot of going back to maybe putting more a consistent, disciplined energy into third house matters. It could even be doing things connected with the vehicle because that is involved with your transportation. It could be over matters with siblings, with neighbors in your short journeys, perhaps as well. And also, too, it could be maybe going back to, I mean, it could be somebody maybe in your neighborhood, and it could be a neighbor to a Capricorn. Maybe we're having a Capricorn sexual relationship or interlude with somebody, sorry, with a Capricorn, perhaps, or somebody that in a Capricorn sun, moon, or ascendant, or one that simply embodies Capricorn-like characteristics. So anyway, people, next thing up is Jupiter will be in Scorpio still. So the first house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, as I've talked about previously, is that Jupiter, though very strongly benign and benevolent, can be paradoxical. It can also have a tendency to enlarge and expand. And it could expand or enlarge surreptitious, nefarious activity, manipulative behavior, perhaps from someone you knew in your early childhood. Perhaps it could also expand their waistline, and there may be more of a propensity to gain weight at this time. But you may be more jocular and jovial at this time as well. But because it's Scorpio energy, the humor may be very subtle and sarcastic. Also, too, this could be about where you can have, this could be very fortuitous as far as making maybe a change or transformation with the physical body, especially if this is actually the first house in one's actual natal chart, and coming across as more jocular and jovial, more humorous at this time than usual. But at the same time, this could also expand and enlarge Scorpio characteristics, which could be good and bad, because of course the good and bad characteristics. It could be where it could be expanding more willful qualities, resourcefulness, resiliency, more sarcasm at this time, perhaps more surreptitious behavior, more secretive behavior, but also very strong ability to make a major change or transformation as well at this time. So, and the quick-witted energy, of course, associated with Scorpio. So anyway, next thing up is Saturn will be in Capricorn still. So the third house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Will be retrograde at this time for Scorpio. Well, this could be about dealing perhaps with a number of restrictions, limitations, and connection with communications. At this time with siblings, with neighbors, cousins, you might have more difficulty in your short journeys. Also, too, at this time, this could be where you might be feeling more despondent or melancholy. Third house is rational thinking. And also, too, the way this could manifest perhaps is where you might be taking care of maybe a debilitated or sickly sibling, cousin, or neighbor that might be causing you feeling somewhat despondent or melancholy. And it could be something connected with something Capricorn related, such as the knees, the bones, or the joints. And Also, given retrograde, this could be about reviewing perhaps fears and responsibilities that are connected with third house matters, such as like your transportation, communications. It could be maybe people that you knew in your early education. It could be neighbors, cousins, siblings. So anything third house related. So anyway, next thing up is, well, Uranus will be in Taurus still. So the seventh house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time for Scorpio, this could be about the formulation of new financial ideas that might be beneficial perhaps to a business partnership. Perhaps this could be about experiencing unusual, stubborn behavior from others in general, the significant other. It could be the grandmother, a grandmother even. This is also too where you might experience unanticipated lawsuits, and your relationships in general may be more sporadic and erratic than usual. Taurus friendships are ones that embody Taurus-like characteristics. It could be Sun, Moon, Ascendant. Taurus people are ones that embody Taurus-like characteristics, might figure more prominently, perhaps, and it could be legal matters. It could be your relationships in general. It could be where they play a role in your open adversaries, perhaps helping you combat them some way. And also, too, this could be a time if you're unattached, Scorpio, where you might marry a foreigner at this time, or maybe somebody that's connected with something Uranus-like. It could be like an astrologer or astronomer, somebody that's an innovator, someone that works with computers or electronics. So anyway, next thing up is, well, Neptune will be in Pisces still, so the fifth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time for Scorpio, well, you might be dealing with more deception, duplicity in connection with children, with lovers, romantic partners at this time. They might appear more nebulous and unclear than usual. Be very careful about not deluding yourself in speculative ventures, and being also, too, that this is Neptune in fifth house. This could be also the way this could manifest is dissipation and dissolving of maybe connection with a child, with a lover at this time, maybe of some kind of a hobby or creative endeavor. At this time, too, be careful, too, because children and lovers, they might be more susceptible to chemicals, to drugs and alcohol. Sometimes it could be an accidental chemical assimilation, or it could be where somebody becomes involved in drinking, or as far as drinking alcohol or using recreational drugs at this time. But on a positive side too, the way this could manifest is that this could be a time where you might express enjoyment in something Neptune related. It could be something with poetry, dancing, oceanography, chemistry, photography, the metaphysical, which of course could include astrology. So anyway, people, sorry about that, people. Anyway, next thing up, Pluto will be in Capricorn still, so the third house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time for Scorpio, well, I know a lot of you don't want me to say the dreaded D word, but you know I'm going to do it anyway, is that this could actually, in some cases, be the literal death or of a sibling. It could be a cousin. It could be a neighbor. It could be someone that's prominent in your short journeys. Sometimes there is a transformation of the voice at this time on some level. Some cases, too, this could be about the obliteration or destruction, maybe of, it could be maybe of something that is connected with your neighborhood. Maybe you go to a different neighborhood. Maybe it's a vehicle you have that's involved with your local transportation. But remember that when we're talking about Pluto and things being obliterated with it, remember that it's also about rebirth and regeneration. So if something goes away or is destroyed due to Pluto, it could be connected with Pluto. This is it could often be supplanted and replaced at some time. This could also manifest perhaps in power struggles. with siblings, with neighbors or cousins at this time, and also manipulative behavior connected with them. And also, too, you might find yourself communicating more, maybe perhaps about Pluto-like matters, such as maybe things with the supernatural, the occult, astrology, even terrorism at this time, or even like things connected with talking about things that are nuclear, such as a possibility of like nuclear war, like those like subject like that. So anyway. Next thing up is the North Node will still be in Leo, so the 10th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time for Scorpio, well, this could be the way this can manifest when you're talking about the North Node. This could be about issues one may have to address or confront. And given that this is, the North Node in Leo 10th house, it could be about having to confront an arrogant, domineering, bombastic, overbearing, perhaps a dominant parent, someone prominent in your career. It could be an authority figure. This could also be a time where you might be directed more into taking pride and dignity in your reputation, your public image, and career-related matters, and also being more extroverted and gregarious as well in terms with people with your in your career. Perhaps it could be with the dominant parent, it could be with authority figures, and also about how being maybe more being directed toward being more extroverted and gregarious, how this might actually help improve your social status and stature in life, and being more generous and magnanimous in connection with authority figures and the dominant parent as well. Anyway, next thing up is the Black Moon Lilith will be in Capricorn as far as August goes, from the 1st until the 6th. So the 3rd house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time. Well, for Scorpio, this could be about really where you might be seeing a neighbor, a sibling, a cousin, might be expressing very tyrannical, ruthless, overambitious, undemonstrative, and callous qualities at this time. And also this could be about the revelation or unveiling of a very formidable Capricorn adversary. It could be a Capricorn sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply one that embodies Capricorn-like characteristics. It could be this could be somebody in your daily communications, or it could be some kind of neighbor, or it could be a sibling, cousin, someone prominent in your short journeys. And also too, about, when you're talking about the Black Moon Lilith, it could be about what could put one in a strong state of fear or trepidation. And this could be about relinquishing maybe an authority position over siblings, a neighbor, a cousin, and maybe even losing consistent communications in general. Now, also, the way this could work out too is that when you're talking about the Black Moon Lilith, this could be about something that is let out of the bag, so to speak, but you didn't want out of the bag, but it does come out. Now, there could be about maybe a restricting or limiting situation with siblings. That could be one possibility, or maybe some kind of something that's depressing or causing you despondency in connection with your short journeys, and there might be limitations or restrictions that are associated with that. So anyway, or maybe even limitations in your communications as well. Next thing up is the Black Moon Lilith will be in Aquarius as far as August goes, from the 6th until the 31st. So the 4th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Well, at this time for Scorpio, this could be about perhaps a revelation or unveiling of some formidable Aquarius adversary. It could be an Aquarius sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply one that embodies Aquarius-like characteristics. This could be someone that you're close to home with. It could be a family member. Also, too, this could also be, looking at this as well, this could be about, when you're talking about the Black Moon Lilith, this could be about what could put one in a strong state of fear or trepidation. And in this case, it could be about maybe losing your uniqueness at who you are at the core. This could be about maybe really at the same time, maybe not having your independence and freedom in connection with your home and your family. And also, I mean, when the Black Moon Loath could be about an unveiling or revelation, it could be, in this case, maybe an unusual discovery pertaining to roots and ancestry. And also, too, Black Moon Loath could be about what could put you in a strong state of, I mean, you're looking, well, all right, what I want to say is what another thing with Black Moon Loath could be about is what something that kind of gets let out of the bag, so to speak, but you didn't intend on it, but it does anyway for whatever reasons. And this could be about maybe something that unusual, maybe something you were hiding regarding um, maybe your family history, something that was a little bit bizarre or unorthodox, or there's some kind of traditions that are unorthodox, perhaps could be an example. It comes out of the bag and really and you didn't really want it to come out, but for whatever reason it does at this time. Or maybe there was something unusual or bizarre regarding someone you feel close to home with that you didn't want to really people to know about, but it comes out anyway for whatever reason. So anyway, well, last but not least, Chiron will be in Aries still, so the sixth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time for Scorpio, well, at this time for Scorpio, this could manifest perhaps an actual literal injuries, maybe wounds to the head or the face. I mean, Chiron is about emotional wounds often, but at times it could be about physical ones as well. This could be about maybe going through some emotional wounds connected with lack of assertiveness and enterprise and initiative in work and health related matters, and maybe even dealing with contentious, acrimonious experiences at the workplace. Also, too, there's something going on where maybe someone that you're of service to, where the situations become contentious, or maybe there were times when you felt you could have been more of service to somebody, but because maybe being overly passive, not overly aggressive and assertive enough, you didn't capitalize on it, and you're feeling bad because of that maybe. Now remember that Chiron and Aries can be about feelings of unworthiness. So the way this can manifest with you, it could be over maybe feeling unworthiness in terms of really deserving employment. Maybe you feel you just don't fit in at any job. You might feel ostracism, perhaps from fellow employees as well, and maybe even and also not feeling a sense of belonging in the work world at this time, or deserving to be employed. And this could also be about combative, contentious situations with aunts and uncles at this time, or an aunt or uncle. But since Chiron is the wounded healer, it's important to remember that in ways that you might be going through difficulties with Chiron and Aries and the sixth house, you could actually, you may be able to help others out dealing with comparable situations, and do so with a lot of Aries like courage, fortitude, assertiveness, aggressiveness, and initiative. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for my Scorpio August 2018 horoscope forecast. Stay tuned next time, where I'm going to be talking about why I love astrology, part 2. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.